On a windswept stretch of the Arabian Gulf coast, where pearl divers once risked their lives beneath shimmering waters, a single tribal victory in 1783 would redraw the political map of the region and shape the destiny of a kingdom that still stands today. In the late 18th century, the Gulf was not the tranquil corridor of skyscrapers and oil wealth we know now. It was a fiercely contested maritime frontier. Trade routes linking India, Persia, Mesopotamia, and East Africa flowed through its waters. Pearls more valuable than gold in some markets were harvested from its depths. Whoever controlled these waters controlled wealth. At the heart of this struggle stood the town of Zubarah, on the northern coast of present-day Qatar. In the 1700s, Zubarah had grown into a thriving commercial hub, populated largely by the Utub tribal confederation. Among them was the ambitious Al-Khalifa family. Merchants, sailors, and tribal leaders, they were not yet kings, but they understood power, trade, and alliances. Across the Gulf lay the islands of Bahrain. Rich in pearls and strategically located, Bahrain had long attracted outside rulers. By the 18th century, it was under Persian influence, governed by officials loyal to the Persian crown. But Persian authority in the Gulf was weakening. Tribal rivalries, regional competition, and distant imperial priorities created cracks in control. Tensions between Zubarah and Persian-backed authorities escalated in the early 1780s. Raids, counter-raids, and maritime skirmishes became common. The Al-Khalifa leaders, most notably Sheikh Ahmed bin Mohammed, Al-Khalifa saw an opportunity: control Bahrain, and they would command both pearl wealth and maritime routes. In 1783, conflict erupted into open confrontation. Forces from Zubarah, led by the Al-Khalifa, crossed the waters and challenged Persian-aligned rulers on Bahrain's soil. The decisive battle is often associated with events near Zubarah and on the islands themselves. Through a combination of tribal unity, naval capability, and strategic timing, the Al-Khalifa defeated their opponents. The victory was not merely a raid, it was a conquest. Following the defeat of Persian authority, the Al-Khalifa established their rule over Bahrain. Sheikh Ahmed earned the title Al-Fateh, the Conqueror. What began as a tribal campaign transformed into the foundation of a dynasty. From 1783 onward, the Al-Khalifa family would govern Bahrain, an unbroken line of rule that continues into the 21st century. But the conquest did more than install a new ruler. It shifted Gulf politics. The late 18th and early 19th centuries were a period of intensifying imperial interest in the region. The Ottoman Empire, Persia, and eventually Britain all sought influence over Gulf trade routes. The rise of a strong Arab tribal dynasty in Bahrain created a new regional actor. The Al-Khalifa navigated a complex web of diplomacy and rivalry, balancing relations with neighboring tribal powers, Persia, and later the British Empire. Pearl wealth sustained the early state. For more than a century, Bahrain's economy revolved around the sea. Divers descended without modern equipment, risking drowning and disease, to harvest oysters. The revenues financed governance, tribal alliances, and defense. The islands became a focal point of Gulf commerce. By the 19th century, British involvement in Gulf affairs intensified. Treaties and agreements gradually positioned Bahrain within Britain's sphere of influence, reshaping its foreign relations while leaving internal rule under the Al-Khalifa intact. The dynasty adapted, preserving its authority while navigating global power politics. The 20th century brought transformations unimaginable in 1783. The discovery of oil in Bahrain in 1932, one of the first in the Gulf, shifted the economic foundation from pearls to petroleum. Urban development accelerated. Infrastructure expanded. Education systems formed. Political structures evolved, culminating in Bahrain's independence in 1971. Yet, through colonial pressures, economic revolutions, regional conflicts, and modernization, the Al-Khalifa dynasty remained at the helm. Today, Bahrain stands as a constitutional monarchy under the Al-Khalifa family, its skyline reflecting oil, wealth, and financial ambition. But the roots of that modern state trace back to a decisive tribal campaign launched from Zubarah in 1783, a moment when maritime traders became rulers, and a regional contest reshaped Gulf power dynamics. The story of the Al-Khalifa rise is not simply a tale of conquest. It is a narrative of adaptation, of a tribal confederation transforming into a state, of pearl divers and desert leaders navigating empires, and of a dynasty born from the turbulence of the Gulf that continues to define a nation more than 2 centuries later.